Have you ever wondered how a small, forgotten girl could be used by God to save a powerful man? In the land of Aram, there lived a great warrior named Naaman. He was the commander of the king's army. He was strong, brave, and respected by all. When he rode through the city, people bowed their heads. When he spoke, soldiers listened. He had won many battles. Everyone thought Naaman had everything. But Naaman had a secret pain. Under his fine clothes, beneath his shining armor, Naaman suffered from a terrible disease, leprosy. His skin was slowly wasting away. No doctor could heal him. No medicine could cure him. At night, when the house was quiet, Naaman would sit alone and stare at his hands. The strong hands that once held a sword with pride were now marked with sickness. His heart was heavy. Naaman had a wife who loved him deeply. She saw his pain every day. She watched him try to hide his sickness from the world. She heard his quiet sighs in the night. And in their home, there lived a little servant girl from Israel. This girl had been taken from her homeland during a raid. She was far from her parents, far from everything she knew. She worked quietly in Naaman's house. She cleaned, she fetched water, and she served Naaman's wife with gentle hands. Though she was just a child, pain had already visited her life. One afternoon, as the sun poured through the windows, Naaman's wife sat on her bed, wiping tears from her eyes. Naaman's sickness was getting worse. The little girl noticed her sadness and spoke softly. "If only my master would go to the prophet in Samaria," the girl said. Her voice was small but filled with hope. The prophet of the Lord would heal him. Naaman's wife looked at her in surprise. "A prophet? In Israel?" "Yes," the girl nodded. "His name is Elisha. God is with him. He can heal leprosy." Those words touched the woman's heart. She carried them to Naaman. That evening, as Naaman sat quietly, she said, "There is a prophet in Israel. Our servant girl says he can heal you." Naaman looked up, his eyes filled with doubt and a small spark of hope. "A prophet? Can this really be true?" The king of Aram heard about it too. He prepared a letter for Naaman to take to the king of Israel. He also sent silver, gold, and fine clothing, rich gifts for healing. Naaman packed everything and began the long journey. As his horses moved forward, dust rising behind them, Naaman's thoughts raced. What if this is my only chance? What if I am healed? And what if I am not? Far away, in a small house in Israel, the prophet Elisha went about his day, unaware that a powerful general was riding toward him, guided by the faith of a little girl no one thought was important. And so, the journey of hope had begun, born not from power, but from quiet faith. The journey from Aram to Israel was long and dusty. Naaman rode in front, dressed in rich clothing, his armor shining in the sunlight. Behind him followed horses loaded with silver, gold, and fine garments. Servants walked beside the animals, whispering quietly. Everyone on the road could see that a very important man was passing by. But inside Naaman's heart, there was fear. When they reached the palace of the king of Israel, Naaman proudly handed over the letter from his own king. The king of Israel read it slowly. As soon as he understood its meaning, his face turned pale. His hands began to shake. "This man is asking me to heal leprosy," the king cried out. "Am I God? Can I give life or take it away?" In fear and frustration, he tore his clothes. He thought this request was a trap, an excuse to start a war. News of this reached the prophet Elisha. Calmly, he sent a message to the king. "Why are you afraid?" Elisha said, "Send the man to me. He will know that there is a prophet of the living God in Israel." So Naaman turned his horses toward Elisha's small, simple house. This was not what he expected. There were no guards, no palace gates, no grand welcome. Just a humble home in a quiet place. Naaman stopped his horses at the door. He sat tall in his seat, waiting. But something surprising happened. Elisha did not come out. Instead, a servant walked out and spoke simple words. "Go and wash yourself in the Jordan River 7 times. Your skin will be clean, and you will be healed." Naaman's face burned with anger. "Is this some kind of joke?" he shouted. I thought the prophet would come out, stand before me, call on the name of his God, wave his hand over the disease, and heal me. He looked toward the rivers of his own land and scoffed. Are not the rivers of Damascus better than all the waters of Israel? Couldn't I wash in them and be clean? His heart filled with pride and disappointment. Without another word, he turned his horses around and began to ride away in rage. His servants followed silently at first. Then one of them, brave enough to speak, stepped forward. My master, the servant said gently, if the prophet had asked you to do something great, would you not have done it? Naaman said nothing. The servant continued, then how much more should you obey when he only says, wash and be clean? Naaman slowed his horse. The words pierced his heart. He had crossed deserts, carried treasures, and stood before kings. Yet now he was too proud to obey a simple command. Slowly, painfully, Naaman made a choice. Without another word, he turned back toward the Jordan River. His pride was breaking, and his miracle was waiting. The Jordan River flowed quietly under the open sky. Its waters were not wide or grand like the rivers of Damascus. The banks were muddy in places. Small stones lay scattered along the edge. To Naaman, it looked ordinary, too ordinary for a miracle. He stood at the river's edge in silence. Moments earlier, he had been a proud commander on horseback, surrounded by servants and riches. Now, he slowly removed his royal cloak. Then his armor. Each piece felt heavier than the last, not because of its weight, but because of what it represented: his pride, his power, his reputation. His servants turned their faces away respectfully as Naaman stepped into the water. The cold shocked his skin. Once, he thought, as he dipped beneath the surface and rose again. He watched the water drip from his hands. The leprosy was still there. Twice. Still unclean. 3 times. No change. A quiet doubt crept into his heart. What if nothing happens? What if I look like a fool? 4 times. His servants watched closely, hardly breathing. 5 times. His arms still showed the marks of sickness. 6 times. His heart began to sink. Fear whispered inside him, this is pointless. But he remembered the words of his servant. Wash and be clean. He remembered the faith of a little girl who believed without fear. Taking a deep breath, Naaman went under the water one last time. 7 times. When he rose again, something was different. Naaman looked at his hands. The white patches were gone. His skin was smooth, clean, new, like the skin of a young child. For a moment, he said nothing. Then his breath caught in his chest. I am healed, he whispered. Soon, his whisper became a cry of joy. I am healed. His servants shouted and laughed. Some fell to their knees. Others lifted their hands to the sky. Tears streamed down faces that had long been filled with worry. Naaman fell to his knees by the riverbank, water dripping from his clothes, his heart overflowing. There, in the dirt and water, the mighty warrior learned who the true God was. He rushed back to Elisha's house, no longer riding in anger, but in awe. When Elisha finally came out to meet him, Naaman bowed low before the prophet. Now I know, Naaman said with shaking voice, that there is no God in all the world except in Israel. He offered Elisha the silver, the gold, and the fine clothes, but Elisha refused them all. The healing came from God, the prophet said softly. You cannot buy his power. Naaman nodded, understanding at last. As he prepared to leave, he asked for soil from Israel to take back with him. From now on, he said, I will worship only the Lord. He returned to Aram a changed man, not only in body, but in heart. The disease was gone, but the greater miracle had already happened inside him. Naaman's horses moved slowly down the dusty road back to Aram, but his heart felt lighter than it ever had before. His skin was clean. His body was new. Yet the greatest change was not on the outside, it was deep within his soul. He kept looking at his hands as they rested on the reins. Smooth, strong, whole again. I was blind, he whispered to himself. Yet God still saw me. His servants walked beside him with joy. The fear that once followed them was gone. Laughter now filled the air where worry once lived. The journey that began with desperation was now ending with faith. Back at Elisha's house, something else was happening. Elisha's servant, Gehazi, had watched Naaman leave with his gifts. His heart became restless. So much silver, so much gold, and my master took nothing, he thought. Greed quietly grew inside him like a shadow. Gehazi ran after Naaman. When Naaman saw him, he quickly stopped his horses and stepped down. "Is everything all right?" Naaman asked with concern. Gehazi bowed slightly and said, "My master sent me to say that 2 young prophets have arrived, and he asks for a little silver and some clothes for them." Naaman's heart was generous. "Please take double what you asked," he said gladly. He gave Gehazi silver and fine garments and sent him on his way. But Gehazi lied. He hid the gifts and returned to Elisha as if nothing had happened. Elisha looked at him with calm, searching eyes. "Where have you been, Gehazi?" Elisha asked. "Nowhere, my master," Gehazi replied. But Elisha already knew the truth. "Was not my spirit with you when you ran after the man? Is this a time to take money and clothes?" His voice was firm but sorrowful. "The leprosy that once covered Naaman will now cling to you." At that moment, Gehazi's skin turned white with disease. The room fell silent. Greed had taken what grace had healed. Far away, Naaman returned home to his family. When his wife saw him, she gasped and covered her mouth. Tears streamed down her face as she touched his clean skin. "You are healed," she cried with joy. Naaman told her everything, about the little girl, the prophet, the river, the 7 dips, and the God who healed him. That night, for the first time, Naaman did not pray to stone or wood. He prayed to the living God. And in a quiet house in Aram, a small servant girl smiled through tears. God had used her. Not her strength, not her power, but her simple faith. Lessons from the story. Sometimes, God doesn't send thunder. Sometimes, He sends a whisper. Through a child. Through a simple word. Through an instruction that feels too small to matter. Naaman was strong, respected, and powerful. Yet one quiet disease showed him how weak he truly was. And it was not a king. Not an army. Not even a prophet at first. But a captive little girl who led him to his miracle. Think about that for a moment. Who have you ignored because they didn't look important? What instruction have you delayed because it felt beneath you? How many times has pride made you walk away from your own healing? Naaman almost missed his miracle, not because God refused to heal him, but because his pride nearly refused to obey. And maybe today, you are standing at your own Jordan River. God is asking you to forgive. God is asking you to let go. God is asking you to humble yourself. Not something loud. Not something dramatic. Just simple obedience. But your pride is whispering. That's too small to change anything. Naaman learned the truth that day. Obedience unlocks what pride keeps locked. And just like him, God is not only trying to heal your situation, He is trying to heal your heart. This story was not shared by accident. Let it move you to action right now. Tap the like button as a sign of faith. Share this video with someone who may be standing at their own Jordan River today. And subscribe for more powerful Bible stories that will keep strengthening your spirit. Then go to the comments and boldly declare this: I choose obedience over pride.